Hello everyone, welcome back to another reaction video, and today we are with Arthur Hill with Guess the Imposter Teacher Edition. I'm excited. We've not had an Arthur Hill video for a while as well, and this actually might be the first Arthur Hill video that we've reacted to that wasn't platform roulette. So I am very excited for this. Let's get into it.
Hello and welcome to Find the Imposter Teacher Edition. Today we have got a group of teachers, but one of them is an imposter. Ooh. At the end of each round, we will decide who we think is the imposter.
Does anyone else feel like left out, or not left out? Does anyone feel bad for the one person in like the group of 5 of them that's always left out? Because they do things in 4. Like, Batch isn't here right now, and I feel bad. Why don't they like Batch at the minute? What happened? What happened? Where's Batch? Get Batch involved. Is it hard to get another fucking chair? Know what I mean?
Imposter and chat amongst ourselves. And at the end of the game, we will make our guess, and the imposter will step forward. Are we ready, chaps?
Maybe Batch is in
So
one of the
ready.
teachers.
Bring in the teachers. I've never said that before.
What does that even mean? I'm not surprised. Education.
To recap, 4 of these people are teachers, 1 is an imposter. Me and the boys have 4 rounds to decide who that imposter is. Hi guys.
All right. He is definitely a teacher. She teaches biology. He teaches... What would he teach? He teaches music, I think. She's an English teacher. He's the odd one out.
Just to say, love what
Video
you do.
done. Thank you guys so much
So
for
I guess
watching.
please just
Hope you've
introduce
enjoyed.
yourselves first. We'll go left to right.
So I'm Jack, I'm 28, I teach history.
And I'm B, 28, and I'm early stages teacher.
I'm Rohan, don't worry about the age. I teach design technology.
I'm Charlie, I'm 27 and I teach economics.
I'm Hava, I teach P and I'm 28 years old.
Okay, so I got all of them wrong.
None of them said Mr. or Mrs. something.
Yeah, oh.
I think none of them are teachers.
Initial thoughts as they came in, B looked like the most teacher
Never
person
mind, I got
in the
them all
world.
right.
I felt like I was getting told off immediately, I'll be honest with you.
I thought B looked like a teacher.
Charlie, maybe. I'm saying not a teacher.
Look, I don't like to judge a book by its cover, but I've realised today that is exactly what we're doing.
Yeah, I feel like we should probably like single them out one by one because that was like a lot of information.
yes.
That was a lot of information.
You know, you need to hone in on one, I think.
Jack, right?
Yep.
Do you only teach history?
Yeah, mainly.
He is the most standard-looking teacher I think I've ever seen. When I think of a teacher, a history teacher, even more specifically, he is who I think of. Him to a T.
At times
I don't know
I've
why.
taught like RE, a bit of sex ed as well.
Any further questions, George?
Oh yeah, on the sex ed topic, can you just do like a brief recap?
What sort of rates do you charge, just out of interest?
What kind of stuff do you teach kids at?
When they're that age?
Yeah.
It tends to be a lot around like sensory play and just learning about the world through experience. So they'll do like lessons where they're playing with water, sand, bricks. But then we also do like obviously reading, writing.
Oh, they don't mean like actual fucking bricks. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, it's sweet. And like music, obviously we use lots of that.
What's the weirdest thing a child's ever eaten?
Oh my God. No, anything like the sand they love to put in their mouth, but it's like child-safe sand, so it's okay.
I used to eat pasta a lot in school.
That's somewhat
That's
normal.
a food,
though.
yeah.
I eat pasta.
No, but I was in
I eat sandwiches at school.
I ate cereal.
I think pasta's probably the only one I can think of.
Is it flavoured?
No, but they do different colours.
Different coloured sand?
Yeah.
Are we focusing too much on sand?
Yeah, maybe we are.
This is an amazing product.
I quite strongly think she's a teacher. I think the
I think so
mannerisms,
as
she's
well.
very calm, like she's very articulate, good at speaking.
And knowing that sand knowledge, no one would make up safe sand.
That's too niche.
Rohan, what sort of things are the classes working on at the moment?
Well, my year 11s.
What was he? Design tech or something, right? I think. I don't know. Oh.
Just handed in their coursework, so that's exciting.
Which is what? What do they have to build?
Coursework.
He's lying He's lying to our faces.
So from the exam board, we get challenges, right? They got 3 challenges. They have to pick one. And then from there, they have to design their own coursework. So they have to pick their own client. They have to do their own research. They have to do their own design. And they have to come up with a product that they're going to make for that client.
Design
so
tech.
Currently, they're looking at children and education. So a lot of them have done like board games for like sensory play.
It's a good callback there.
I made a little wooden like boat that was about that big.
At year 11, still doing sensory play. Chew on this rubber.
No, because they pick the client. So like one of my students, their client is their niece and she's like 3 years old. So you have to make the product for that person. They're not just eating sand at like 16.
You seem very calm. I'd quite like to know what your style is.
I'm from the Caribbean, so I'm just chill.
Let's pretend we're in one of your classes and we're not listening, we're talking too much and you just want to get our attention. I'd just quite like to know how you do it.
And just saw the end of the table with a...
So, which one? Arthur, why are you hitting the table like that, Arthur? It doesn't make any sense.
I've got a hat.
You ain't getting kids' attention, 16-year-olds' attention like that. They're calling you a fucking pussyhole. It's absolutely not happening.
I'm using my hammer.
You're using a hammer?
Yeah.
Do you know how to use a hammer? Clearly not. So let's just stop right there for a second. Right?
Sorry.
Well, number one, I'm going to explain how you use it.
Not having it.
All right.
It's
and
him
number
now.
two, you're going to
He's
use
wrong.
it properly. Because if you don't and you hurt yourself, that's a big health and safety risk. I don't need to do that paperwork. Right. I just need to teach you. All right. You also need your fingers. Okay. You need your fingers for 2 things. One to eat that sandwich, yeah, and one for your bus pass on the way home.
Wow. Aura. That is aura.
That was quite a teachery sort of powerful
I don't
answer.
think it
If I have to hammer for the rest of my life for him to keep saying my name, then I will
Maybe
do
I just
that.
had different
Rohan had
I don't know.
crazy aura, let me just say.
So far, they look like teachers to me.
That's aura,
So
I agree.
economics next, is it?
Economics, yeah, at A-level. So yeah, I teach A-level kids, 16, 17 and 18. I also teach a bit of maths as well.
7 times 7.
49.
He's the real deal, it's him.
Tried it. If I didn't
He's
get
the
that
real
right.
deal.
To be
No
fair,
one else
from
can
that
know
moment
that.
on, I was pretty set on Charlie not being the imposter. It would take me, I'd say, maybe 10 seconds to think what 7 times 7 is.
What are 3 factors that might shift the supply curve to the right?
Bro. He's such a dick. What the fuck are you talking about?
The amount of money that the government invests into education.
Retention's just got down.
You sound like you've done economics before.
I did, I studied it.
So yeah, quiz you on some stuff.
Please don't. It's been a long time. It sounded like he actually was rattling off the answers though. I was quite
Or
confident.
did he just study A-level economics?
True.
Yeah.
Actually, not
He could
usually.
do.
Maybe he still
Knowledge
is.
bomb
Maybe he's
dropped
an
on their
A-level
ass.
student.
No, 27. Don't think you can. At that age.
If I said LRAS curve.
Long run aggregate supply.
Okay, no, he's got it. Okay. He's the, he's got it.
Right, I'm so convinced Arthur goes in these videos just so he can show how smart he is. It does my head in, but it's so impressive.
Pressure on you now.
Yeah, go for it.
What's your favourite sport? That was locked and loaded. No further questions, Your Honour. Okay, so as a PE teacher, do you have like a team like are you taking like the under 12As
true,
or what's the...
Yeah, across all years. I teach secondary and I've got a netball team in every year.
Do you face other schools in sports? What day does that normally happen?
Oh, they change. So right now, netball's on a Thursday and football's on a Wednesday.
Football was always on a
Very
Wednesday.
quick. Can you give us perfect netball throwing form?
Without a netball?
You're going to create a W with your hands. You're going to have your elbows tucked in. You're going to step through, follow through.
She could have played netball, but that's...
Yeah, it's very true. It maybe doesn't help with
Are there any netball terms that we could test?
Name the 7
what does GA stand
positions.
for?
Goal attack.
That's all I've got.
The way she walked through teaching you how to throw, I mean, she could have just played netball at school and
She could just know how to throw.
known it, but again, she passed the test with flying colours.
She could be a sports teacher. I'll give her that. She could do a dabble in PE.
So, how did you get into teaching?
See,
I
I
did
feel
history at
like
university. Quite like.
when it comes to PE teachers, usually they have like a second subject, and they didn't ask that, and I'm annoyed. I want to know what the second subject would have been. Like all of my PE teachers were like either a history teacher, like a psychology teacher, geography. That they had a second subject. They weren't just PE. So I want to know if they asked that question.
But sort of found myself trained home after a long old day. I always considered teaching, with obviously interest in history. Looked into it, found the right way into teaching for me, and I'm being honest, I haven't looked back. About 5th year, full time now.
He's a definite teacher.
Oh yeah, history.
I got my joke for the round. We're done. We're done.
You didn't listen to anything else he said, did you? You just thought of that in the first 10 seconds.
Right. Okay. I think. Well, I'm clueless.
We knew that before we walked in the room.
We can discuss and move on to the next round.
Class dismissed.
Well, obviously, only one of them was primary school or nursery. The rest was secondary school.
But she held herself like an early years teacher.
She did.
Knowing about coloured safe sand as well is just so niche.
She's the one that I'm like, she's definitely a teacher.
Yeah.
I don't know. 100%, the way she holds herself.
If Rohan isn't a teacher, he should be.
Off the bat, I'm thinking Charlie's not a teacher.
You know what I feel like might be a good way is like asking about exam board names.
But would we know that still?
Particularly fun.
It's my mastermind.
Let's go to the exam board names round.
I think he's chosen economics teacher because he's like you, he studied economics and knows that he can fall back on that and rely on it.
But then what are you supposed to catch him out on?
That's the game, Arthur.
Right, we are ready for round 2. Bring the teachers back in!
Way.
Right, so we have discussed amongst ourselves and we're really doing well. You guys are in trouble. For once, the teachers are in trouble, not the students. But this round, we're going to focus more on you guys as individuals.
Jack, what are you most passionate about with teaching?
I think it is sort of you do see that you make a difference. I think that's the big thing, particularly with the subject I teach in history. Some kids think they're not good at it. If you're going to study history like GCSE, there's going to be bits where you're thinking, why on earth are you teaching me this?
Yeah.
So like when I teach kids about Elizabethan England farming laws, that's not the most engaging thing. But at the same time, you're teaching them things like cockfighting in Elizabethan England. So they love a bit of
Back to sex ed.
God, how's he just going to drop Elizabethan farming laws on us?
And how many cocks would be fighting?
One at a time. So you both two. You get all the guys get in a circle.
Okay.
You get.
Hang on.
Sounds like something else.
Just looking up.
Right. And this is appropriate for classrooms.
Well, this is the thing. Like, imagine I'm teaching this to 15-year-olds.
They're gonna listen.
Got us interested. I would absolutely watch a cockfight for sure. Bring it back.
I would watch many cockfights. I'd bet all my money. It would be like my Cheltenham, I think.
Rohan, you're saying you've got a very calm, chill demeanour. What in your line of work sort of pushes you out of your comfort zone?
Nothing.
Cold.
Now, you know what it is? Like, you as a person, you either choose to get mad or you don't.
You are the most captivating man I've ever met.
Honestly, I'm hooked on every word.
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
Charlie, would you say teaching makes you feel part of a community?
I think he's just cool. I think that's all it is. I don't know.
I mean, of course, because you have to obviously work with, like, as a school, we do a lot of things like Young Enterprise, if you've ever heard of it, which works with, obviously, local communities, businesses in the area. We have, obviously, our local community in terms of all the housing and things like that. So, and we run events.
Just out of interest, you mentioned the houses. What are the names of your houses at your school?
Houses? Oh, no, not that houses. I mean houses on the roads and all the surrounding areas. We don't have houses.
We've been done by the classic, is it a house or is it a house? And in this scenario, he chose house. And everyone thought that he made me look silly there. I don't think he made me look silly there. I made him look silly there.
B, what's...
Oh, wait, well, should we ask?
No, I actually think she's a teacher. I've no doubt.
So she just has to stand there.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
You can go.
Yeah, we shan't be speaking to you for the rest of the day.
What skills do you think you've learned through being a teacher?
Patience. I think when I was younger, I definitely was not patient. And with P as well, we've got kids of like different abilities. So we've got to be patient with their skill level, with most people. Like P, I like to think there's a lot that don't. Being able to adapt, being able to be patient, fun.
Did she say, she just does every year, doesn't she? So at my school, PE wasn't a subject until it was A level. Before that, we just had games and you'd go outside and play football, handball, whatever the fuck you played at the time. If she's a PE teacher, like the actual subject of PE, I don't think many schools have that every year. If she's a solely PE teacher, then the kids will have chosen to take PE as probably one of their choice subjects or whatever. And I don't think at that point they'd have different or that varied skill sets. I think they'd all be fairly athletic if they're taking PE. I don't know. Maybe my school was just different. I don't know. It's fucking hard.
I thought she said DAP. That's a crucial skill. That's how you get real respect as a teacher.
Okay, well, we've got lots to think about. The next round's going to be tough. And work on your tells, okay? Because we know who you are.
Yeah, pretty well.
Yeah, pretty well. We just don't want to say because it will ruin the video early on, but we know who you are.
We have no idea.
Yeah. Okay, on to the next round.
Do you feel like that round helped much?
Not at all.
I am 90% sure it's Charlie at this point. He's a salesman. He's trying to sell this thing to us.
I think so
and I'm
as
not
well.
buying it, Charlie.
But I think there was something that he said that sounded very teachery.
But a lot of these answers are stuff where you'd be like, oh, you kind of would say that if you were faking being a teacher.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm telling you, man, Charlie's a fraud. Unless he's not, in which case he's probably a great
There
teacher.
is a weird part of me.
Oh, I've seen it.
Yeah, I don't think it's Rohan or Hava.
I don't know why we're so sure on Hava though.
I also agree with that.
She's not said or done anything that's like, there's no way that anybody's
Yeah, but her answers just gave teacher vibes to me.
We can't base it off vibes.
What else can we base it
I will be devastated if it's Rohan.
Unless she's a netball teacher, she very quickly,
Bro,
the way that
look at the way that I can't remember her name.
It's Rohan.
Unless
What's her name? The way that she's looking at people and the way that she like holds herself. I agree with them. The way she holds herself is so teacher-y, if that's a word. I don't. Apart from the other guy, to like the guy that's here, she is the next person that I look at and go, yeah, that's what I think of a teacher. That she looks exactly like I'd imagine a teacher would look. The two on this side, sure, send them away. They are teachers. Absolutely
she's
fine.
a netball teacher, she very quickly, the way that she rolled, that was like a phrase
I can imagine
that
she's
she
a
has
really,
said a lot.
really good
But
listener.
you know what as well? I do think, Jack, with Victorian behaviour and cockfighting, I do think we should get one bit of specialist knowledge from him, but still.
Yeah. Right, we are
also
ready
not
for
voting
round
anyone
three.
out, are
Bring in the teachers. Bring in the teacher. Bring in the teacher. Bring in the teachers, bring in the teachers. Right, in this round, round 3, we are going to focus more on creativity and social interaction in teaching.
Yeah.
Are you ready, teachers? Thank you.
Great start to social interaction, that.
I needed that. Have you ever done a song? Anyone here done a little DT song? You know, like the times table song.
You know what? I respect it. No,
Here we
good
go.
question.
Oh, can you do it for us?
Can you do it for us?
No.
Can we hear it? Would you mind?
If you want to.
Please, yes, please.
That actually would be really cool, yeah.
You see, today we're going to learn about timbers, but you might just call it wood. And you need to understand if you're going to burn down the forest with deforestation, then you should really take care of yourself, because there's a problem with it. And the problem is quite simple. You're taking away all the animals' land. And if you think I'm going to stand for it, then you must understand that I overstand. So don't ever tell me that deforestation is good and that everything should be made out of timber. Because honestly, like Pride and the Rock, I'll leave you hanging like Simba.
Oh, that's sick! That's sick!
I think he's the coolest teacher ever.
He doesn't stop at teachers, he's the coolest man ever.
Yeah. Rohan's rap was very cool, very impressive. There were a few bars that didn't rhyme at the start, and I was like, is he just going to keep saying stuff? And then he started pulling it together. They were rhyming, they were quite quick.
It made me want to quit music because I'm nowhere near as talented as that. I think I'm going to call my label up and get them on him. Sure. You and me, no chopping down trees. It's not good for the environment or you and me.
Do you have one about Elizabethan farm? See, let me tell you something about back in the days.
Oh, no.
It was really quite frightening. It doesn't really matter what size you are, you see, I'm ready for the cockfighting. See, I might take out my wood, man, playing.
My word.
You're sweating a bit, aren't you?
So are you single?
I'm married, man. I'm married. Was that my question?
No, joking.
I think you've shown how you've implemented a bit of your personality into your teaching methods. Hava, how have you done that?
Oh, I think I'm quite energetic. I've got a lot of, let's say, ADHD that actually can be channeled really well in PE. So I was, like I said, I was that kid that really struggled because I just couldn't stay still. I couldn't be in an exam class. I couldn't write. I didn't enjoy it. And put me in PE, happy and I thrived.
That is good. Can you do a backflip?
I can't. No, I can't.
I was going to say B.
Yeah.
What is an example of when you've really used something that sort of engages the kids in your class to get them sort of like really
That
involved?
sounds like a proper interview question, doesn't it?
Yeah.
She's going for a job now.
They all have different like learning needs at that age because they're learning at different rates. There's one young boy who really, he's into Spider-Man. So I ordered some Spider-Man stickers and he has a chart. So now when we're doing counting, we'll use his Spider-Man specific stickers as opposed to just like numbers because that wasn't really grabbing his attention. So it's finding ways with each child that then bring them in. You've got to kind of bring them to your level rather than expect that a number book is going to suit everyone.
Okay.
Does that answer that question?
Yeah, but it doesn't help us out.
The stickers that I would have had in nursery probably would be Thomas the Tank Engine themed.
Sure. Respect
that
it.
or Thunderbirds
I
or
also respect
Arsenal
that.
based.
If I was a kid and I didn't want to learn numbers and I just counted the number of Spider-Men on my textbook, that would help me out, I feel.
I want to know the best piece of advice another teacher has given you.
For me, very early on, it was pick your battles. I think that's the big one. I've always found there's a reason for certain behaviours, and if you can find that reason and deal with it in a more appropriate way than, shouting at a child or talking a child down, then there's better ways of going about it.
Interesting.
Finish every day with a positive phone call home to a parent about a student in the class.
Yes, that's a good one.
Because the impact you have on that student when they get home is obviously tenfold.
like
because
that.
student then comes back in like, oh, thank you, sir, for.
Oh, you know what? I hope he is a teacher now because that's really fucking wholesome, and I like that a lot. Even if he's not the teacher, I hope the rest of them do that. I like that. That's really, really nice.
My mum's giving me this, my dad's giving me this, and it has a huge impact on building relationships with students.
And do you do that every day?
As many as I can do, in terms of, sometimes obviously a little bit busy, but...
Could we just briefly role play a good phone call?
Yeah, like that.
I'll dummy parent here. You could just ring me up because I'm...
You're right there, is that Mr.
Sorry,
George?
It's on silent, sorry.
Hello? Is that Mr. George?
It is, yes, hello.
You're right there, I'm calling on behalf. I'm Chris's economics teacher at school.
Oh, God, what's he done now?
Nothing, actually. He's had an absolute amazing lesson today. He's been so engaged. He's answered so positive in the classroom, and obviously this is a big change from what we saw last week.
I know. Honestly. Charlie? Charlie?
Yes?
Oh, you're there. Thanks very much for that.
What part of your day energizes you the most?
Definitely the smiling faces, like for sure. Especially when you
Bro,
can see like
she's a
the penny
teacher.
drop
She doesn't need
with
to say
them
anything
about whatever, whether it's numbers, whether they're learning how to write their name and like following the dots and everything. The pride that they have in themselves. It's obviously going to affect you, and you can feel that glow.
Is it the same answer across the board? That's the most energizing thing.
I like the inquisitive. Do you know when they ask all the questions back and forth because you know you've really got them engaged? So when you're teaching a topic and you've got, sir, what about this? What about tactic? And they're constantly asking questions, but you've got them captivated and engaged.
My favourite is when they say they want to be a teacher, especially PE. I'm like, Mason, I want to be a teacher, and I'm like, get in. So I love it. And our clubs, when my girls win, when my netball girls win, I literally come back and I'm like, I've done my job.
When they make a product and then they take it home, they're so proud of the product that they've made because they never would have thought that they could make this or how to even make it.
What's like the best product you've been like, you've seen someone make, you've been like, wow, that's actually so impressive?
Air fryer.
So indeed, there's different elements in DT. So like textiles is an element. And I had a student and she made a jacket out of plastic bottles.
Whoa.
Wow.
And she wanted to do it for her dad, but like certain situations and whatever have you. So I became like her model. So she would like model it. And then she made this jacket and I was like, this is actually kind of nice.
And is that the one you're wearing? Yeah. Oh, that's a great anecdote, it really is. Everything you say is great, it really is.
I want to recycle me into a better person. I want to see how your personalities differ with your teaching. I want to do like a bit of maybe some improv. I love a bit of improv, me.
Okay.
Like, we've just come into the class. Maybe take an
this.
inspiration from something you've taught this week. And I just want to see how you set up your lesson. Who do I want to pick on here? Jack. Yeah. I nutmegged you at break, mate.
We didn't. So.
Well, I did 3 times.
Yeah, I'll beat you up again if you talk to me.
Yeah, boys, we done? If we just make our way, looking at the screen, there's a nice little start for you to do. Let's get that date and title down for me, please, Chris. You can tell me all about how you nutmeg Chris later on.
Nice.
Didn't happen, sir.
Oh, sure.
It did happen, sir.
He's a mug.
Why are you laughing? I was locked in instantly, to be fair.
Happy with that?
I thought that was quite commanding.
It was quite commanding.
You need to have a teacher stare.
I feel like I'm very standard,
Everyone give
though.
us your best
Everyone's
teacher.
doing the same
that would be
thing.
good actually, yes.
Charlie's just mewing.
It's already looking into the camera.
Well, they can do it to the camera first and then turn to us.
Yeah,
so
good shout, good shout.
Oh my god.
It was too serious for too long.
I liked Rohan's teacher stare. It was just very disappointed, and you can really see how if he would look at you like that,
I think
you
they just
would
fancy
hate
Rohan.
yourself.
Honestly, I felt like I'd done something wrong. Why, George? Why have you brought me such sorrow?
Can you maybe just like say our name as well in the tone that you would say it?
Arthur, this way.
It's starting to sound like a kink, innit? Just say my name a little bit, then look at me.
I think I shot myself there. Yeah.
Arthur.
Oh, that was very early years.
Good. I shouldn't have a phone at 3. What am I doing?
Arthur, come here.
Do I go over? I want to go.
Come hither somehow.
Arthur.
That was good.
Very economical.
Okay, finally.
Arthur, eyes on the board, please.
Ooh, when would you say that in PE?
BTEC sport.
Yeah, snap! Shut the fuck
She
up!
clowned on you. She
Yeah.
clowned on you.
Yeah,
I'm
now
also
he's in
head of
school,
PSHE,
bitch.
so I teach in the classroom a lot as well.
Fair. Oh, she's telling the truth.
I don't know how else to.
Wait, can the imposter
Oh wait,
turn
what
around
did she
really
just
quick?
say? I think this is what I was looking
She
for.
clowned on you. Yeah.
I'm also head of PSHE, so I teach.
I fucking know. So yeah, one of my PE teachers was also, weirdly, the head of PSHE. She's true. She's telling the
in the
truth.
classroom a lot as well.
Correct, it's true.
Oh, she's telling the truth.
I don't know how else to.
Wait, can the imposter turn around really quickly? There was a lot of expert knowledge from you four. You all was cockfighting. Quick fire question, when was the Cuban Missile Crisis?
1961.
Oh, it's not.
Isn't it?
No. And that's GCSE history, so...
Medieval.
Oh.
I was going
Got
to
him.
ask, start with Hava,
Yeah.
what is a piece of advice that you would give someone as aspiring to be a teacher?
Oh, it's demanding. You have to want to teach. You've got to go in with passion. You've got to put in a lot more than you think, but it's for our children.
You got to die to get 3 marks.
One bit of advice I'd give someone is try to obviously embed your personality into your teaching style. The kids see that you're being real and you're obviously relating to them, you will have the kids and you'll engage them and they'll make progress.
Must be quite tough in economics, right?
Yeah, but then again, I also teach maths as well. But economics isn't boring. You can bring your own personality into it. I always link in a lot of what I'm going through. Like I just bought a house and I linked it into my lesson, taught the kids, and they looked at me and went, "Really? That's a mortgage? That's how much you pay back at the end of it?" And they looked at me like gobsmacked.
Yeah, I suppose if you
Right.
sort of show that, like open up into your life.
Exactly.
Yeah, I can understand that. Yeah. Sorry, you sounded like you were going to say something there. It's just an intake of breath, was it?
No, I was just laughing.
It's just going for the economics,
Sorry,
isn't it?
yeah.
In today's housing market, fair enough.
Rohan.
Give them your values. So like for me, like respect is the first value.
Nice,
And then the second one would be 80% work, 20% fun, because you don't want school to be boring, do you know what I mean? And then the third one is that when you walk into the room, you're a designer, you're not a student. Because I got to make them realize that when you leave here, there's a whole other world. Like this is a bubble. So when you leave school now and you leave that bubble, or your bubble gets popped, you got to understand there's a whole other world out there.
Yeah, I would follow him into war.
I'd follow him fucking anywhere. Like, genuinely, anything. I don't even know what he said. I think I was lost in his eyes.
My
I
piece
think
of
I
advice would be
fancy
to
him.
meet
Jesus Christ.
the students where they're at. I think you can go into a role and have too much expectation and try and shoehorn like the class in a certain direction or the afternoon or the activity. But if you're able to meet them at their level...
You must be crouching a lot then.
That was such a dad joke.
I know.
That was a strong dad joke.
I only didn't laugh because I'm vertically challenged myself, so I thought it was fine.
Listen, believe that you're tall, man. What's wrong with you?
Believe that you're... I'm tall. I'm there.
When Rohan said that, I felt 8 foot tall. I felt like I could do anything except reach the top shelf. Jack?
For me, you probably don't be afraid to make mistakes, you know. You might get a date wrong, but you know, the student's gonna look at that and realise that you're a human.
You tell students about your dates, that's weird.
No, not.
Keep them going, just keep it going.
I thought that would save it.
Make it more approachable to them. You know, if they don't see you as just like a robot, they see you as a human that's there for, you know, to help them through loads of stuff as well, not just there to tell them, you know, what maybe they need to know.
I think that's a successful round. Teachers, leave us. Leave us.
Leave us.
Class dismissed.
I'm pretty locked in on one. I'll be so real now.
I still think
I feel like I know who it is.
Charlie.
It's definitely B. I'm so certain of that.
I was going Rohan. I think Rohan's like a speaker or something like around gang culture.
Could be. Yeah. The more
he keeps
Wait,
drawing
he
back.
thinks B isn't one. I think B is locked in, no? Maybe Rohan. I kind of agree with George. He might be like a motivational speaker, like a child support kind of thing. I think it's
Back on that.
I think the come here was a bit weird. That didn't feel very teachery.
Yeah, whenever you ask him anything about DT, he sort of comes out with these quotes as opposed to an answer that's DT related. The only thing DT related so far is someone made a jacket about our bottles, and anyone can make that up.
I think that's too niche. That's too niche. Also, if Rohan isn't the teacher,
I think he's just like a motivational speaker.
I think it's Jack.
I can see
It's not
it.
Jack.
B, she referenced them as students, and they are receptionists or nurses.
Receptionists.
Bro, they are not receptionists.
Wow. She obviously teaches nursery and reception. You wouldn't call them students.
They are students. They're nursery students and reception students.
You wouldn't call them students. You call them kids.
They are.
You call them kids. You wouldn't call them students.
No, they are. My sister studied early years education and they were called students.
Oh, all right, my parents are teachers too, mate.
They're going for band and familial teachers.
I think Hava is getting away with bare minimum on the end.
No, she's not. No, she's so obviously a teacher. Jack is obviously a teacher.
Being proud of her class, the
I agree
PSHE
with that.
Charlie is
answer.
obviously a teacher as well. It's between Rohan and B.
I'd actually be sad if it is.
It's kind of
Rohan.
He's been captivating and like motivational, but he hasn't touched on a lot.
He must be a teacher. He's taught me how to love. He really has. Bring him in. I miss him. Seriously, bring him back in.
Well, her answer about the Spider-Man thing was not very good as well.
2-year-olds don't know Spider-Man.
Who are we certain is a
2-year-olds
teacher?
definitely
I
know
would have pushed
Spider-Man.
for Charlie, Jack, and Hava.
I'm still not convinced on Charlie.
Right, we are ready for round 4. Bring in the teachers for the second to final time. Hello, teachers. Round 4 is rapid fire questions. But first, forget the kids for a second. How has teaching helped you develop as a person?
Well, for me, massively. I think my confidence has grown so much. You know, I've been a lot more outgoing. I've taken advantage of like a lot of opportunities that, you know, education has sort of given me as well. I've been on like a ski trip, learned to ski. I'd never have gone skiing otherwise, and I've loved it since. Like that helps you grow as a person as
On
well.
my ski trip, my teachers just got pissed, like drunk, and sat in the hotel and got drunk.
Oh, that's cool, actually. A great answer.
Yeah, confidence is a big one. And that self-belief, because you've got to trust that you know what you're doing and that you can deliver, because it's important. So having that inner belief in yourself and the work that you do.
I actually don't think this is very good because they've had so much time to think now. It's not really quick fire questions.
Listen, I said that before.
Is it not? Sorry.
Listen,
You
Chris.
idiot.
Listen, please. Well, that was good, right? That was good.
That was really good.
Thank you.
A teacher.
You guys, thank you.
Yeah, when the music thing fails, mate, teach me. You've got it as a
Which
fallback.
it will. Rohan, thank you.
For me, it's realization. I've always been a little bit lost, like, as a kid. So then realizing, you know what?
I
all of
am
my
seeing the
skills that I've
motivational
developed
speaker
over the
a lot
years and
more
what
now,
I've had
though.
to do has led me to see that I am a teacher and that I can teach in all aspects of life.
Charlie?
One for me would probably be a bit of empathy with regards to when you obviously speaking, you're dealing with a lot of situations with kids, and you actually have to obviously be there, support them, and give them all the advice you need, or they need really. You develop that as a little bit of empathy.
I think mine's communication. So like Ro, I really struggled when I was younger and I wouldn't ever speak about my feelings, and now I actually have to navigate those conversations with young people. So I'm getting them to understand why they feel the way they do, and I can actually transfer that. So when I have an issue, I can communicate that, whether it be a partner, a friend, day-to-day in school. I think communication is really important.
Right, rapid fire questions, and we're going to keep them rapid, okay? I think we pick randomly.
Yeah, we're just gonna
we
pick
shoot the
someone and,
question, you
and that'll
answer
be
as
it.
quick as you can, and we'll see if we can trip any of you up.
Rohan,
Okay.
what's your favourite school event of the year?
Sports day.
Yes, get in.
That's genuine pride.
Yeah, that is as well.
Yeah, I don't think she's in the equation anymore.
Charlie, what's your real job?
I don't think that.
I told you it was round 2. I was convinced that she was a teacher by round 2.
However, what was the most recent scoreline in your netball game?
6-2. It's only 7-minute quarters, so there's only 2 halves.
Okay, makes sense.
We won.
All right, overdoing it now.
Jack, if your subject had a theme song, what would it be?
Roll with it, Oasis.
Whoa.
Why?
Just got to keep going. It's just like a storybook, isn't it? Just got to keep going and going. One event leads to another.
What's the difference between history and the past?
We learn from history and we add it to our experiences.
That was seasoned. That was seasoned.
You need to seriously leave him alone. It's actually annoying me a little bit now, I can't.
B, how would you tell a child off?
We don't really tell them off when they're that age. You kind of get them to calm down at first, and then you're going to try and get them to breathe with you properly, and then communicate through whether something hurts or whether it's actually an emotion, because they're trying to distinguish between the two.
What's the word?
She might just have kids and be like potentially homeschooling her kids, or just have young kids. She might be like a nanny. I've just had this sudden realization.
Worst thing a kid has ever done.
The worst thing?
Yeah, where you've been like, this is something I have to really tell them off for type thing.
Oh, God.
This isn't really a
remember
quick
because you've
fire
never
question.
taught in a class.
No, it's dangerous things. I think when they're like running into walls, that's the closest you get to like raising your voice. But it's still, you're not telling them off, are you? But then I think your instincts of protection.
Yeah. What's the funniest thing you've ever seen a student do?
Oh my God, the funniest thing.
Run into a wall.
They are hilarious. They are hilarious.
Oh, that's funny, is it? Hilarious. You're a teacher, yeah.
No, I think it's when sometimes they come in fancy dress because their parents can't get them to take their fancy dress off. So when they're coming in like Little Mermaid costumes or like Fireman Sam stuff.
Okay.
Charlie, what's the
love
craziest
Fireman Sam.
excuse someone's given for not handing in their homework?
Ooh, one I had a couple of years ago was their house flooded. And I actually called the parent, and it turns out they lived on a boat barge. And it actually did flood.
Wow.
So it wasn't really an excuse, but I thought it was an excuse.
Yeah.
Turns out it was genuine.
There was one time where I remember saving a document in a file type that I knew wouldn't open on Windows, and it was just a completely empty blank document. But I was like, my RE teacher is not going to know that I haven't done this presentation on like Mount Fuji or something, and that was the only time where I was like, I've tried to come up with something quite inventive, and it worked. I didn't have to do my presentation and didn't get in trouble.
Rohan,
Yes.
name me your top 5 DT machinery.
Okay. Pillar drill, bandsaw, circular saw, scroll saw, line bender,
Okay.
Yeah, he's kind of
Laser
pants on there,
cutter.
mate. Can't lie to you.
3D printer,
Oh, what's the coolest thing you've ever 3D printed?
a city.
A city?
What the hell?
I knew Nottingham came out of nowhere. That was you, was it?
It took a while. It took like 24 hours. Like it takes a while.
And are you the leader of that city? Because I will move there now.
Let's go, man.
Jack, name 2 exam boards.
EdXL, AQA.
Easy.
Name a third, because they're the 2 key ones.
They're the only 2 history ones.
Something like that, no?
Is that true?
I don't know, I'm not a teacher.
Oh no, there you go, OCR. There you go.
B, what's your biggest classroom pet peeve?
Maybe I'm a teacher. Holy fuck. Go on.
Probably
Wasn't great.
pet peeve. I think it's when they're physical with each other, like the pushing and
I
the...
always forget as well that these are filmed in silence. Like, not in silence, but there's no music, so they are just sitting there waiting for her to answer.
arguing over who gets the carpet times.
Yeah, I got some younger siblings in school, and they say that a lot of the like, modern day brain rot slang words are banned. Can you quickly give us one each? Go.
Riz.
Cook.
3-year-olds are going, you're cooked.
No. But outside, they love to say. I hear it all the time. They love to be like, let her cook or cook.
Essentially, I just ate my brick. I'm so cooked.
No, they do say outside the school.
Sigma.
Crashing out.
Oh, he's the king of crashing out.
Skibbity toilet, I hate it.
Skibbity toilet.
It's an ick.
B,
Yeah.
in your
I should hope it's a fucking ick. You're teaching kids. What the
nursery,
fuck?
is it a classroom?
Yeah.
Talk me through
Do
it.
you
What's
mean
in each
that?
corner? What's the, like, where are the little enrichment areas? What are they?
Yeah,
Enrichment
so
areas,
on the
great.
walls you've got
Where do they cook?
on the walls you've got pin boards, so we have their artwork on one wall, then we also have on the other wall them learning to write, so we've got their letters and then their pegs for them to put their bags and their coats, and then on the tables they're a bit like this actually but way smaller. We don't have individual desks. Okay. We've just got like big square tables so that they can work, and then carpet area. And the sensory play isn't out all the time because then it would be pandemonium.
Right, and what's the worst like project that's ever been handed into you?
Boy, it's a few.
Oh yeah, he probably doesn't want to out them really.
No,
actually.
well, it's not going to.
Yeah.
Without being too specific, because I don't want to hurt no one's feelings.
Oh, that's handy. Not being specific.
Oh, okay, George.
Don't be mean to him.
I've seen you coming for B. I'm going to be mean all I like.
Don't criticise
Stay in
him.
your lane, sir.
I've got this, man. Don't worry about it. Like, you can't be too specific because you have to encourage them all the time. When someone's ability isn't as strong as, like, no one has the equal ability. So I can't be too specific.
Rohan wasn't that specific with his answer.
That was such a
but
shit
also
answer.
You don't want to be too specific, as the kids in your class, or the kids that have been in your classes might watch this. You know, imagine him just going,
Yeah, but if my teacher told me that something I did 10 years ago, or maybe not 10 years ago, something I did 5 years ago in DT wasn't good, I didn't give a shit. Again, I made a boat about that big and it was wank. I'm pretty sure the top came off. If my teacher said it, I wouldn't care.
going on the internet and just crucifying your DT project, you know, it would be pretty crushing.
Maybe a quick fire. What's the proudest a student has ever made you?
I wrote a poem based off of one student.
He's into poetry as well.
Poetry's big, you know. Yeah, I wrote a poem because I was one kid I was like mentoring behaviour-wise, and he changed his life around. And it inspired me to write a poem.
Oh, that's really sweet.
Right, made it about you a little bit there. Really checking.
I want him to write me like a motivational speech every morning. I want him to write me.
I think I'm
just
changed.
daily
I
letters.
think
want Rohan to
Rohan
be my
is
pen
not
pal.
the teacher.
B, what is your go-to phrase when the class gets too noisy?
Oh, we do like a call and repeat. So I'm like, if you can hear me, clap once.
That was a really quick, good answer, actually.
Oh my God!
That's throwing a spanner in the works.
Spanner.
Speaking of throwing a spanner in,
Yeah.
what's the best thing you've made?
What's the best thing I've made?
Yeah.
My children.
Were they 3D printed?
Cop out answer, not having it. He's just cool. Cop out answer. Cop out. Not having
They
it.
were all 3D printed, yeah. Oh, I made a
it's
like
an
a
actual
noughts on crosses thing for my wife for Valentine's.
She's a lucky woman.
She really is, you know. I can't even lie to you.
I was going to say, so I don't want to just keep singling out B, but it's just because I don't think she's a teacher.
I'm telling you, she is.
What's your favourite part of the day as a teacher?
It probably is when they're arriving into school because they're happy to be there.
Is that true?
I don't think nursery and
Yeah.
receptionists.
A lot of kids
receptionists
are.
believe it. I don't think those kids are happy. No, I used to cry on the way into school. I remember a few times.
You didn't have a teacher like B.
Yeah.
That's because your ears are out like that. Sorry.
They 100%
Oh,
are.
at that age I had a whole morning routine.
That was
You
too
just
far
didn't
with
want to
it.
sit there and eat coloured sand all day, mate. Ooh, what colour glue am I going to eat today?
What would you recommend?
I'd actually like to know more about, I quite like the homework answer from Charlie. So any other crazy homework stories from
yeah.
Jack?
Oh, he was doing his homework near a lake, apparently, as you do.
And a flooded barge.
But Love Actually, and it just blew away.
A flock of geese landed, scared him off, and he couldn't go back to get his homework because he got too close. The geese
That
would
is insane.
That's brilliant. Quite similar
Not
to
true.
Charlie. He took a picture of the geese and filmed himself trying to go near the geese, and it obviously hit at him.
I like the evidence.
Oh shit, fair.
I don't really get excuses. I just get homework.
What do you
Yeah,
have?
he just gets apologies. It's not excuses.
What homework do you have in DT? I don't remember ever having homework in DT.
A written apology as well.
yeah.
I spent all weekend on this, but it's never going to be enough for you. You deserve everything.
Rohan, what was the most recent school trip you went on?
I took 30 children to the Design Museum. So they're GCSE students. and most of them had never been to London before. Taking the coach out, it was just nice to sort of see them on the coach, like taking pictures with the architecture and stuff. And then when we got there, Design Museum, we went for a little cheeky Nando's.
If you're lying, my heart will be broken.
It's gonna be broken.
Okay, well, I actually feel more lost than I did before,
God's sake.
to be honest.
Okay.
We've got a lot of discussion to do, which we will do now. Teachers and Imposter, you've done an excellent job.
Thank you.
Oh, got it.
So teachers and Imposter.
Yeah, we will see you and we'll reveal the Imposter.
Nah, it's Rohan.
Very soon.
Charlie has won me over.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys.
Thank you.
I'm pretty set on my decision now.
Having a literal family member who was in early years, who studied in early years, everything she said literally matches up perfectly.
Running into walls, do kids do that at that age?
Yes.
That's the only thing I'm like, but like...
But she's the only person that hasn't given an answer where I'm like, that is something so specific.
I'm telling
she was
the
inconsistent.
corner response, they are told to do that.
That was a good answer,
That
yeah.
was a good one.
When I asked her, how would you tell a child off, that was deliberate because I know they're told to do positive reinforcement. They're not allowed to raise their voice. They have to tell them to calm down. She relayed that perfectly. Generally, none of what she said has made me be like, I don't believe her. Whereas Rohan, every single time he answers a question, it starts off very vague and then will hone in on something that's incredibly niche. And then we will go,
Mate, the 5 heavy machineries that you reeled off.
I couldn't, like, you also...
You did say 3 swords.
But 6 of them were actual DT machines.
Also, think, he's come in saying he's a DT teacher. He's thinking, oh, they're going to ask me what's in my classroom. Those are things that he's going to know.
Also, the past and the history thing, but it's like a very common thing in history is like the past happened, history is the study of what probably happened. Like, I feel like that's a very foundational, like that's the point in history.
I'd never heard that when I was...
Well, and he did say that or didn't?
Didn't. He really panicked and kind of stumbled over his words.
We have to agree on one.
I think we're just very safe with it. If it's the N2,
it's not the end. It's definitely not the end. The way that she talks passionate and like...
Yeah.
Charlie as well has got better and better as it's gone on.
I agree.
Charlie has.
She's got the PE teacher rock on lock. You know, the heel
I will say I'm not
rocking back
100%
and forth
on
on
that.
it.
Let's narrow it down to 2.
Oh,
I
true,
still think
actually,
Rohan's questionable. There's some things
I think
I thought
because everything he says is very up in the air and I couldn't possibly narrow it down. That's like...
But like 30 kids, Design Museum, Nando's.
But Nando's makes no sense. How are you getting 30 kids into Nando's?
What? You can easily get 30 kids into Nando's. You just phone it.
What school is paying for 30 Nando's for kids?
But they'd have to get lunch somewhere. I've not heard anything from B that I've gone, you sound like there's no point.
I'm choosing B over Rohan.
Okay, you know what? We're going to go 3, 2, 1, say it, okay? 3, 2, 1.
Rohan.
3, 2, 1. B! 3, 2, 1, Rohan.
B. Oh, I don't know. No, but George is so set. Like he's very set on it, and
I don't want George to be smug if it's Rohan. I'd rather it be Rohan and George be wrong.
Rohan, because I don't think it'd be worth living with George.
Okay. Sure.
We have really quickly reached a decision. Bring the teachers in for the final time.
It took them ages.
My heart is in my mouth.
I think it's the right answer. I think Rohan is
Insanely
the
invested
imposter.
for a YouTube video on a Saturday.
So no more questions. We have made our decision, but we are just going to go right to left, sort of any suspicions we had throughout and explain a bit, but not reveal quite yet. So however, I thought, these guys, they're pretty confident.
Yeah, I sort of just discarded her quite early.
Yeah.
Interesting language.
You think I'm a confident teacher?
Yeah, apparently it's because of the way you're leaning and
Doesn't get PE teacher.
it's giving
You've
PE
got PE
teacher
teacher
apparently,
here,
which
right,
I'm not sure it's sufficient.
He's the only one, by the way. We all are utterly convinced you're a PE teacher.
I don't think I'm a teacher.
I think we glossed over you slightly too much, just because of the vibes.
I just think how passionate she was about her team. And
They're all equally passionate, I think.
She's the only one that's cheered out loud at the mere mention of her.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Charlie, you were the only one that we were unanimous on in terms of we didn't think it was you by the end, but after the first round,
We were certain it was you.
so you've really flipped it on its lid.
I'm certain
Yeah.
Charlie's a teacher.
Your economics knowledge was great.
Thank the validation from you. You knew it.
That's an A+.
validation there.
Rohan, we were sceptical due to some vague answers in there, and I think it was a question about a specific project where you decided you didn't want to give anything away.
Not sure about the heavy machinery. Could have been
rehearsed.
Which personally I love the answer, but it's
Yeah.
some of the other people at this
We
table
also
just
think
weren't
you're
sure on it.
like very inspirational, that we think you may very well be some sort of like community leader.
King.
Like using those
MLK, yeah?
using those like that inspiring aura to like go around the country maybe and speak to a lot of people and like uplift them, and you're very clearly passionate about like getting people in good places and the environmentalism and stuff. So they're all great traits for a teacher as well.
Yeah, I got teacher vibes, but there was some things we weren't sure about. And then B, there was a lot of things that weren't. I think the only one for me that didn't give us like
a
straight teacher lingo and vibes instantly, and so I think there was a lot of things that throughout I was like, it just kind of sounds like you're waffling a little bit. So I think George was quite set on the fact that those answers were quite insightful throughout and genuinely did give the vibes of a sort of a nursery teacher. So.
Oh yeah, you again. The Cuban Missile Crisis question, we thought that's a very common one, key stage 2.
I'm not going to let that down.
No.
But your teacher voice was extremely...
That was insanely good.
And you definitely have the passion for it. Like, you can, if you actually are a teacher, I can tell that your class will really enjoy it.
Well, I'm so nervous.
That was really wholesome.
Yeah, I mean, we've made a decision.
We've made a decision, and we believe
Why am
that
I
the
nervous?
imposter is...
Okay.
Rohan. This feels horrible.
That's that disappointment
You
in
could
the
cut
eyes.
the tension with a circle saw, am I right?
Circular saw.
Circular saw.
After a bit of tension, can the imposter please step forward?
Oh, it's gonna be Luke.
It's
When we were doing the vote, us three were kind of thinking it was you, but George was convinced that you would have known.
Sorry. You know what though? That was made easy for me because these guys are such amazing teachers.
Yeah,
Clearly.
literally.
I do seriously mean that. That then I was just able to...
You sold it to me.
Did you pick that so you didn't have a specialist subject yet? Like, what was the reason you decided to be the non-secondary school teacher?
I felt like it was more my vibe.
Oh, big time, yes.
That I'd be that kind of teacher if I was, but I'm not. But after today, I'm like, maybe I should be a teacher.
What do you do?
Digital design.
Because we were like, if you're
Wait,
not
what
a
did she say?
Should be a teacher.
What do you do?
Digital design.
Because we were like, if you're not a teacher, then we thought that you had kind of like looked after kids. There was a lot of things in the...
No kids, no.
Really? In the question when you asked about like what was in the classroom, that was answered very well, and that kind of threw us, I think.
The callback thing was the one where we were like, that was an instant, you were like, how do you get their attention? Instant callback. I was like, oh. And George actually tried to catch you out on one of the questions with telling kids off, and you apparently did you were positive rather than
He knows
negative.
someone that does early stages, and you got it all right.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Well...
Maybe George is the imposter.
No, I had amazing teachers, and you're all clearly fantastic teachers.
Rohan,
So I think...
I'm so sorry, Rohan, please.
Yeah.
I'll follow you. In a non-weird way.
We connected, man.
No, but we were saying it was almost like a good thing, like you're not too inspirational, but
What are
like...
you trying to say?
You asked me if I
The
was
rest of them
single.
aren't.
That's so upsetting.
We really screwed it up.
Oh, you guys should have just been.
Well, thanks, guys.
Thank you so much. Thanks so much for watching this video.
I
If you
really
felt
enjoyed
inspired and
this.
want to find out more, search Get Into Teaching.
Nice. That was actually really good.
How do we not think of one? Oh, there was kids walking around.
I panicked.
How did we not pick up on that? No, we did.
What? Pick up on what?
How do we not think of one? Oh, there was kids walking around.
I panicked.
How did we not pick up on that?
No, we did. We just didn't call back on
I'm
it.
not saying let them cook in reception and nursery.
Oh, we're gonna look so stupid.
I really enjoyed that video. There we go. I hope you guys did as well. Please do make sure you leave a like down below if you did. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.